It's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it, but don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said we never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, sour. You know what I'm saying? Sour.
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight going
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. Hey, Blake Islam. He looked at excellent.
Is there anybody the most from
No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for Bud?
Who?
Well, they were talking about Jaron Ennis going to 160. Possibly Jaron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying, and the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another mega.
The boxing world nearly came to a standstill when reports surfaced that Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis were finally moving towards serious negotiations. For years, fans saw this matchup as nothing more than a dream that would probably never happen. But now it suddenly looks closer than ever. After Crawford reportedly shocked the sport by moving up to super middleweight and beating Canelo Alvarez, attention quickly turned to one final challenge. Sources now claim talks around the fight could reach an incredible $300 million, a number usually saved for truly historic sporting events. That is the kind of money attached only to contests that can capture the entire sports world. Today, we are breaking down why this showdown has become boxing's biggest topic, how Ennis developed into the fighter so many compare to Crawford himself, and why this could ultimately become the toughest test of Bud's legendary career. When Crawford stepped into the 168-pound division, many critics thought he had gone too far. They questioned his size, his age, and whether he could compete against one of boxing's biggest stars. Instead of proving them right, Crawford delivered a masterful performance that made it look like he had belonged in that division all along.
That's ahead of him in smarts. And I think, that's where he'd get in trouble with, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to, think shot for shot. I just compare myself, with a lot of great fighters, and I can see the holes in his game, and I can see the openings and the opportunities that I would have because A, I feel like I punch harder than Xander. B, I'm way sharper than Xander. C, I'm way faster than Xander. So the shots that Xander was hitting him with and the shots that Xander couldn't capitalize because his speed wasn't there, I will be able to capitalize. And when I capitalize, everybody know I'm probably one of the best counterpunchers, there.
That victory accomplished something rarely seen in today's boxing world. Crawford beat an elite champion without relying on size advantages, catchweight deals, or a series of tune-up fights. He simply stepped into the ring against one of the sport's biggest names and won through pure skill, leaving the entire boxing community in disbelief.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era.
After reaching that level of success, one thing quickly became clear. Crawford had seemingly conquered every meaningful challenge available to him. He had already beaten Errol Spence Jr., unified world titles across multiple weight classes, and reportedly added another remarkable achievement by moving up to 168 pounds. It seemed there was no one left, until one familiar name kept coming up in every discussion. Jaron "Boots" Ennis, the undefeated contender who kept taking apart every opponent put in front of him.
Crawford said after the win, "I'm gonna keep my comments to myself, but y'all get it, I hope. We've seen you get rocked hella times too. Stop hating Unk. He almost got knocked out by Xander. Bud sends Boots to the morgue. All you do is comment. You said you'd gain nothing from fighting him, so just enjoy retirement. I agree with this, by the way. I agree with if Bud is going to talk on Twitter, and I said this when he talked about Ilya Top Toro. If you're retired, don't do the Floyd Mayweather thing where, oh, I would have beat him. See, I would have beat him. If you think you can beat Boots, come back and fight him. Bud's not going to do that. He's retired.
This potential matchup has been talked about for several years. Fans originally wanted Crawford and Ennis to meet while both were in the welterweight division, and the IBF even ordered the fight back in 2023. However, negotiations never led to an agreement. Some believed Crawford moved on rather than face a dangerous young challenger, while Bud insisted opportunities existed but were never fully pursued. As Crawford kept moving up through different weight classes, many assumed the fight had disappeared for good. Then Ennis kept getting better, and people started noticing something extraordinary. He was not just winning anymore. His style started reminding fans of a younger version of Crawford.
I think he could go there now and be in his absolute prime. He'll be tight at 54 tomorrow. People think that when you move up in weight, all of a sudden it's easy. He's massive. He will 100% go to 168 at some point. So right there, you've got a 4-division championship. But I don't want him just to be a 4-division champion. I want him to be undisputed in those because I think he's the natural progressor to Terence Crawford. I think he's of the same kind of ability as Terence Crawford. And what Crawford's done is amazing because he was undisputed in 3 weight classes.
Yeah, you got to prove it in a ring.
Of course you have. It's not very well me saying it, but you've got to prove it in a ring. But you've also, people know in boxing. So everyone's always known how good Crawford was. But it took him a long time to get the opportunities to prove it. We've got to make sure that we're not 36, 37, 38 when we're getting those opportunities. Because if Boots can get it at 29, 30, he's going to be around 34, 35. He lives a clean life. Do you know what I mean? I think this guy, I truly believe.
Before long, respected analysts were calling Ennis the next Bud Crawford. Promoters quickly reignited interest in the matchup, and Eddie Hearn added even more momentum by saying that only one realistic opponent remained capable of truly challenging Crawford. Hearn argued that Ennis is undefeated, fully healthy, still in his athletic prime, and nearly a decade younger than Bud. His message was simple: if Crawford wants one final elite challenge, Boots is the obvious opponent.
We know what the super fight is. We know what the super fight is. Super fight isn't Sebastian Fundora. The super fight isn't Virgil Ortiz. The super fight isn't Josh Kelly. There's no one at 160. The super fight is Terence Bud Crawford. That's the super fight. And you know the thing is about Terence, yeah? A, we know Terence is a killer. Terence would have watched yesterday's fight thinking, I see holes. I see holes and I'll capitalize. I'm bigger than you, I'm harder than you, I've got more experience than you, I'm better than you. Well, let's see it. All these things can be said. There's only one way to decide that. Get in the ring. Get in that 22 by 22 foot squared ring with your 10-ounce gloves and let's throw down. And I think Terence is going to. Terence tweeted something along the lines of, almost like, don't tempt me type vibe. And you know what Terence is like? Terence is a street kid. You kind of push that street kid and say it's easy work as Boots is doing. Terence will make you find out if it is easy work, and it ain't easy work. I hope His Excellency Turkey al-Sheikh was watching because he's the one that can make that fight. Both of these guys want to get paid, and he can make that fight. And
4 months, both fighters have quietly encouraged the conversation. Ennis has repeatedly praised Crawford for becoming the face of boxing after his biggest wins, calling him one of the greatest fighters of this generation. At the same time, Boots has never hidden his belief that he has everything needed to beat the future Hall of Famer.
By the way, there's this brother coming up, Molly. His name is Boots Ennis. This brother's special. You don't want to go in the ring against after that beating. Molly, it was so bad. I swear to y'all, I am not exaggerating. You know.
Although Ennis has always spoken respectfully about Crawford, many observers sensed a quiet confidence behind those compliments. His words seem to suggest that every great run eventually comes to an end. Meanwhile, Crawford has repeatedly acknowledged Boots' talent and congratulated him after impressive performances, while also making it clear that he believes the younger fighter still has more to accomplish before reaching his level.
Eddie been talking about that for a long time. But the crazy thing about it is I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, this is before Canelo. I said, Eddie, you keep talking about this fight so much. Put your money up. Eddie said, I'm not paying for that fight. I said, why not? You believe in your fighter? Oh, I'm not paying for that fight. I said, I rest my case.
Whenever Crawford has been asked whether Ennis has what it takes to beat him, he has usually responded with calm confidence. He has hinted that patience is part of the journey, suggesting the right moment will eventually arrive. But after Crawford's reported victory over Canelo, everything changed. Boots immediately expressed interest in making the fight happen. Promoters began discussing huge financial numbers, while TV executives reportedly started holding private meetings to explore turning the event into reality.
I tried to tell him too, and I told him Xander's a good fighter. I like Xander, man. You know, you see Xander come over to hug me. I mean, one of my top fighters that I like. He's a good fighter, man. You can't take nothing away. He's young, strong. You know what I mean? And he got a lot of heart, man. And they should have been stopped that fight. I told him that Boots was gonna cut the ring off. Yeah, they told me he don't know how to cut the ring. He's flat-footed. Now, but Xander told you know what Xander said? Xander said he was just talking. He said, I know he boxing move. He just said that.
As excitement kept building, influential boxing voices including Eddie Hearn, Tim Bradley, and Sean Porter began repeating the same conclusion. In their view, Ennis represents the one remaining opponent capable of capturing the imagination of the entire boxing world. That naturally leads to another question. Why do so many respected experts believe Boots resembles Crawford more than any other fighter competing today?
They all cancel out each other as far as height. You know, they both switch hitters, lift, and everything. All of that cancels out each other. So they are literally the same people, pretty much. The only difference is Crawford done been in the big stage against big fighters so many times. And also, with age, he didn't beat up his body, so his age is actually good. He got the grown man strength. He not just grown man strength, but he built on top of that. Like, look at him at 135. He was a little scrawny dude. He wasn't a big dude. Now look at him. He ripped up everything. He's strong. So sure. I feel like he got everything, all the experience, all the knowledge. So I got to go with Crawford.
The comparison goes well beyond simple hype, because Ennis has one of the most complete skill sets in modern boxing. He switches effortlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances, lands precise counterpunches, and throws shots that opponents rarely see coming. Combined with his natural size, youth, reach, and knockout power, many believe he creates stylistic problems unlike almost anyone else currently competing.
I feel way stronger this weight class. I should have probably been moved up, but as you know, I was staying down there, trying to, be undisputed down there, and those guys were down there playing around, and so I had to, move up, and then I think that was the best decision I made, because I think I would have stayed at that weight for too long.
I gotta ask you this, I know you be tired of talking about Bud, but I remember a couple weeks ago, there's a Gillian Wallow put out a video, and Bud was on the other side saying, I would knock that Boots out. Did you watch that, and what was your reaction to that?
Oh man, I'm in camp. I don't even worry about what he retired. I ain't worry about what nothing he got going on. I'm locked in. I'm focused on Tasking, and that's Xander's eyes. But I'm locked in on that.
Does part of you still want to fight him though?
I'm not.
You're not thinking about it.
Say that one more time.
I said, does part of you still wish you can fight him?
He's a retired fighter.
What makes Boots even more dangerous is a quality rarely seen in young elite fighters. Despite his explosive athleticism, he competes with tremendous patience, refusing to force opportunities and showing maturity far beyond his years every time he steps into the ring. That unique blend of patience and athletic ability has only increased the anticipation around this potential fight. Crawford represents the established king whose achievements have already defined an era, while Ennis symbolizes the next generation ready to take over the sport. It is the classic battle between proven greatness and rising dominance.
An awfully good fighter, and it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw or as a right-hander. And so when you train for a fight, usually the fighter he's fighting trains for him as an orthodox fighter, right-handed fighter. And so from the first round on, he'll turn southpaw, and the guy isn't ready.
At this point in his career, Crawford has very little left to prove either financially or competitively. He has already become undisputed in multiple divisions, beaten many of boxing's biggest stars, and surpassed expectations throughout his remarkable career. So why would he risk stepping into the ring against someone like Boots? Many believe the answer comes down to legacy. Crawford has a chance to further secure his place among the greatest fighters of the modern era. Some critics still argue that he never beat an elite young contender at the absolute peak of his abilities, and this matchup provides exactly that opportunity. If Crawford beats Boots, many fans and analysts believe his legacy would reach an entirely different level among boxing's all-time greats.
Excuse, I beat this guy, and he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. We really didn't realize it until now, when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, and the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, so I just think, when you that much better than the competition, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like.
For Team Ennis, the opportunity could not come at a better time. Boots remains undefeated, is entering the prime of his career, and is finally getting the widespread recognition many believe he deserves. Still, he understands that becoming boxing's biggest superstar requires one defining victory over an established legend. Beating Crawford would immediately lift him to the very top of the sport. More importantly, Boots does not seem driven by desperation. He genuinely believes he is the better fighter. Every legendary champion eventually reaches the moment when the next generation comes knocking, and this could become Crawford's defining challenge. The age difference only makes the story even more fascinating, with Bud approaching the later stages of his career while Ennis is just beginning his prime years.